Good evening, everyone. Tonight I'd like to show you how it's possible to use weight touch and play pianissimo. And you can get the most beautiful, tender tone out of the instrument when you know what you're doing. So if you can, I'm going to use this piece, Arabesque by Schumann. It's Opus 18. It starts in C major. It's in 2/4 time, and each quarter has 4/16ths in it, and it starts on the 4th 16th of the first quarter. And to be that gentle, even that first note, the pianissimo is written right underneath that upbeat, in a sense, the 4th 16th of the first quarter. So when I sit tall, like my spine's like a stack of checkers, my shoulders are dropped and relaxed, and my arms feel heavy. I can slowly relax, knowing they're free like that, bring them over the keys, and then flop right through to the floor, knowing I'm going to draw the key down gently and hang on it like I'm hanging on the edge of a cliff. And that's only half the story. You're only part way there when you're hanging like that and it's heavy and you went right through to the floor. Now, you have to be able to, as Adele Marcus used to say, drop and draw. So it sinks gently and movable in the wrist, limpid in the wrist. Now, the finger has to be able to deliver that weight over the next 16th. So, and it takes the weight over it, and then you have to be able to flop right through to the floor for the next one. Same with the next 16th in the left. So. Of course, I was doing that without the pedal, and it'll be that much smoother when you add the pedal, and it makes the piano come alive. So it's just very beautiful to be able to make that pleasant sound and make the piece flow. Now, I'll just put some glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Now, when it moves to the next part, it's it says to, once you get 2 bars in, it says retardando. So it's got a spread, a slowing down after that. So now here it's coming in pianissimo again. Right through to the floor. And deliver. See, I can pick that out. Take just the amount of tone I want from it, from the piano. Now, this piece is written in rondo form, and a rondo form means that the main subject comes at least 3 times, and in between each appearance there's some new section. In this case, it's in E minor. Well, when you're a composer and you're writing music, you have to know that there are what's called keys of first relationship. So if the piece is in C major, keys that the composer might likely move to, if it's not a sudden modulation to an extraneous type key far out, keys that it might move to are the relative minor of the major you're in, which would be A minor, and in which case you'd see the G sharp as a raised leading note, but it's still 0 sharps, 0 flats. Or the key in the sharp side of C major, which is 5 notes up, tone, tone, half tone, tone, to G major, which has 1 sharp, so 1 more than none. Or its relative minor, 3 down, 3 semitones down, 3 letters of the alphabet. E minor, which also has one sharp, F sharp, and the leading note, which is D sharp. So if you see the D sharp, you're going to know you're in E minor, and sure enough, right here, it's E minor tonic triad, E, G, B, raised leading note, sorry. So once again, I'll just say what those keys of first relationship are. C major, relative minor, A minor, or the sharp side of the key, up 5 notes in C major, it comes to G major, or its relative minor, E minor, 3 down, E minor, with the raised leading note, D sharp. That's the sharp side of C major. Now the flat side of C major by 1 accidental is 4 up, so it's F major. So F major is 1 flat, so 1 more flat than none. So that's a key that's close to C major. So the piece might move to that key. Or its relative minor, which is down from F, 3 semitones, 1, 2, 3, 3 letters of the alphabet, F, E, D. So D minor. And if it's in D minor, the leading note is C sharp, the raised leading note, up out of the 2 sharps, Father Charles, F sharp, C sharp. So that just gives you an idea of that you have to be able to analyze where the piece is going harmonically in order to understand it better. And when you can do that, you'll feel much more comfortable, and it helps with your memorizing of the piece too, because they aren't just accidentals for no reason. Then you have to understand a chord progression. The most important chord progression you can get is the perfect cadence, which is a chord on 5 going to a chord on 1. So in C major, the chord on 5 is G, B, D, and if it's a dominant, that's the dominant one. And if it adds the 7th, and then that resolves to C, E, G. So when you're in a minor key, you look for the dominant triad and you use that raised leading note as the clue. That'll be in that dominant triad. And then the resolution is to the minor triad. That is the relative minor of C major in this case, so E minor. So in the bass. It's in the soprano here. But then all of a sudden it's in the bass. So you get so I'll do that once again. minor middle section that's happening, a little bit more of that. It's So I'm going to learn the piece for you, and then I'll be able to play it another time. That's only part of it. It goes on for another 3 pages anyway. So it's a long piece, but it is a pretty piece when it's all pulled together and you hear the different aspects of the rondo form, and it's a fun piece to play. A friend of mine, Dr. Lorna Young, used to play it for me all the time, and I just loved the way she played it, and she had the weight touch because she studied Siva King. She had her own program on the CBC during the war, and played every Friday night from the Chateau Laurier live, and no doubt that would be one of the pieces she played. So anyway, I hope that gives you some ideas towards your legato tone, and that you can enjoy creating that tone much better when you know physically what it is you're doing, and then know how to hear a gentle sound because of what you're doing that you understand you're doing physically. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. Take care and have a good evening. Bye-bye.